Hi, I'm Lori Pieper, and I'm here to tell you that stress makes you stupid. Science proves it. I'm just a little more blunt about it. Okay, so what does stress have to do with your business? I say everything. And let me just give you one example. For the last 24 years of my corporate career, I worked for a software company and I was the liaison between the client and the sales rep. And one of my many jobs was to install software at the client site and spend a couple days with them, training them on how to use it. Well, one day I arrived at a client site to do an installation, and I realized that the sales rep had sold a Windows solution to my Unix client. And you don't have to be a software engineer to know that that's not going to be the best solution. I was not happy. As a matter of fact, I was livid because this sales rep had pulled similar things on me in the past, putting me in a very difficult position. I knew the client was not going to be happy. So when you are in fight or flight, I could, at that moment, I could feel my blood boiling. And when you are in that feeling, which is fight or flight mode, the blood is redirected from the rational, compassionate part of your brain and goes to the irrational, reactionary, confrontational part of your brain. I call this your smart brain, and I call your stress brain your stupid brain. And why do I call it the stupid brain? Because when we are stressed and the blood flow is in that reactionary part of your brain, we tend to do stupid things. We tend to overreact. We tend to say stupid things. We tend to do stupid things. Dawson Church, who is an author, PhD, and an expert in peak mental states, says, stress reduces cognitive function. That's your ability to think clearly. Decreases your emotional regulation, which means you're more likely to fly off the handle or say something you don't mean, and impedes memory and learning. Your zone of genius will never shine if you are in a state of reduced cognitive function with impeded memory and learning. You don't want to be in that position in front of a client. So at that time, it was very tempting for me to throw the sales rep under the bus because I was beyond mad. But I realized that it wasn't the best thing for my client. It wasn't the best thing for the company I worked for. And it wasn't the best thing for me because it just doesn't feel good. So I took a few deep breaths, expanding my belly to get me back into rest and restore, where I could have a rational discussion with my client on the options. So the key to getting into rest and restore, AKA smart brain, what I call smart brain, is to take a few deep breaths and expand your belly. When you're expanding your belly on the inhale, you are telling your brain that the autonomic nervous system that you are safe. And then the autonomic nervous system will go to work getting you back into rest and restore. I was able to get back into rest and restore and convince the client that changing the contract to be a Unix solution versus a Windows solution would be the best for them in the long run, even though it would cost them more money. The end result was the deal was almost twice as large. The client became a happy client and a great reference for the company. Now, the sales rep had left money on the table. Gosh, that sounds so horrible. Left money on the table because that rep was afraid to ask for the bigger deal. And if I had remained in a state of stress, stupid brain, I would not have been able to logically convince that client that it was in their best interest to go for the Unix solution, even though it cost them more money. And they never would have been a happy client, nor would they have been a reference for us. So if you and your employees are in a constant state of stress or stupid stress brain, you too may be leaving some money on the table and probably missing out on some top-notch references. It's good business for you and your employees to understand the impact of stress on your brain, on your body, and how to manage it appropriately. If for no other reason than to be able to remain calm and in smart brain when negotiating with the client. So breathe deep, expand that belly, and stay smart. Thank you.